In the dust-swept town of Redemption, a name whispered only in hushed tones was that of Elias Vance. He wasn't just a man. He was a legend, a sheriff whose sense of justice was as unyielding as the desert sun. His life was a testament to courage, a story told to children to inspire bravery. But every legend has an end, and Elias's came not in a blaze of glory, but in a shadowy betrayal that stained the town's very soul. His son, Leo, was just a boy then, his world a kaleidoscope of his father's warm smile and the gleaming silver star on his chest. That world shattered on a moonless night. He remembered the frantic whispers, the hurried footsteps, and the chilling silence that followed. His father was gone, ambushed by a shadowy figure, a rival known only as the Vulture. The town's official story was a tragic accident, a lie woven to mask the cowardice of those who feared the Vulture's reach. The silver star, once a symbol of hope, was now just a cold piece of metal, a reminder of a debt unpaid. Leo grew up in the shadow of that lie. While other boys played games, Leo trained. He learned to read the land like a map, to track a trail days old, and to draw a pistol with the speed of a striking snake. His father's old deputy, a grizzled man named Silas, saw the fire in the boy's eyes. He didn't just teach Leo how to fight. He taught him his father's code: justice over vengeance, and honor above all. "Your father wasn't just a lawman, kid," Silas would say, his voice raspy with age. "He was the town's conscience. Don't let his memory be just about revenge. Make it about restoration." Years hardened Leo into a man who moved with a quiet purpose. He was a phantom, his presence felt but rarely seen. He left Redemption, not to escape its ghosts, but to become one himself. He honed his skills in distant territories, taking on jobs that tested his limits. Always listening, always searching for a whisper of the Vulture's name. He learned that the Vulture, whose real name was Marcus Thorne, had grown from a mere outlaw into a kingpin. His influence a web of corruption that stretched across the territory, with its heart still beating in Redemption. The day came when a message from Silas reached him, a single, coded sentence: "The Vulture has returned to the nest." It was time. Leo rode back into Redemption not as the boy who had left, but as a stranger with his father's eyes and a storm brewing in his soul. The town had changed. Fear was a currency, and Thorne's men were the collectors. They patrolled the streets with an arrogant swagger, their power absolute. Leo didn't announce his arrival with a challenge. He began dismantling Thorne's empire from the shadows. Just as Thorne had ambushed his father, he intercepted a weapons shipment, leaving the guards tied up with a note simply saying, "Justice is coming." He exposed a crooked card game that was draining the townsfolk of their savings, returning the money anonymously. With each act, he wasn't just hurting Thorne's operations. He was chipping away at the fear that held Redemption captive. Whispers started to circulate about a mysterious figure, a ghost who fought for the common man. They didn't know his name, but they felt a flicker of the hope they had lost when Sheriff Vance died. Silas acted as Leo's eyes and ears, feeding him information about Thorne's movements. "He's getting paranoid," Silas reported one evening, a rare smile on his weathered face. "He's seeing your father's ghost in every shadow." Thorne, enraged and cornered, grew reckless. He couldn't find the phantom tormenting him, so he decided to make a public statement. He announced he would be seizing the old Vance homestead, the last piece of Leo's past, to build a monument to his own power. It was a calculated insult, a final twist of the knife. But for Leo, it was the perfect trap. The homestead was on the edge of town, isolated. It was land he knew better than the back of his hand. As Thorne and his entourage arrived at the property at high noon, expecting to find it deserted, they found Leo waiting for them. He stood alone in the dusty yard, the sun glinting off the silver star he now wore pinned to his vest, his father's star. "Thorne," Leo's voice echoed, clear and strong, carrying the weight of years of silent preparation. "You've come to desecrate this land, but you'll only find your end here." Thorne, a man accustomed to cowering enemies, laughed. The sheriff's boy, come to die just like his pathetic father. He gestured to his men, and they spread out, confident in their numbers. What they didn't know was that Leo wasn't alone. He had the town behind him. Inspired by the ghost's actions, the people of Redemption had found their courage. At a signal from Silas, doors opened, and armed citizens emerged, taking positions on rooftops and in alleys. The hunters had become the hunted. The ensuing fight was not the chaotic brawl Thorne expected. It was a precise, coordinated effort. Leo moved through the chaos like a force of nature, his actions guided by a cold, clear purpose. He wasn't fueled by rage, but by a profound sense of justice. He disabled Thorne's men one by one, his movements efficient and decisive. A dance of skill and strategy he had practiced for a lifetime. Finally, only two men were left standing, Leo and Thorne. They faced each other in the center of the yard, the very ground where Leo had played as a child. Thorne, desperate and wild-eyed, drew his pistol, but Leo was faster. A single shot rang out, and Thorne's weapon clattered to the dust. He clutched his shoulder, disarmed but alive. Leo walked toward him, his expression unreadable. Thorne spat. "Finish it. Be the killer they say you are." But Leo simply looked down at the man who had stolen his childhood. He remembered Silas's words. Justice over vengeance. He holstered his pistol. Killing you would be an act of revenge, Leo said, his voice low and steady. My father stood for justice. You'll face trial for what you did to him, and for what you did to this town. The people of redemption. Their fear finally broken, surrounded Thorn, their faces a mixture of relief and resolve. They took him into custody, not as a mob, but as a community reclaiming its soul. Leo stood watching, the silver star on his chest seeming to shine a little brighter. He hadn't just avenged his father, he had honored his legacy. He had restored the conscience of the town. Justice had returned to redemption, not through a single act of vengeance, but through the courage of a son who understood the true meaning of his father's star. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed this journey of justice and redemption, please hit that like button, and consider subscribing for more tales like this. We love having you as part of our community. See you in the next one.